video. Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and start playing with Atom at this point. So I'm going to go back up because I want to be looking in my main folder, looking at apps, looking at main, because we're both going to be tweaking a few things in this main folder that's inside that other main folder, so main/main. And we're also going to be tweaking thing in this apps folder. And we're going to be using manage.py. So this is a great place to be. So basically I moved myself back out of apps, and now we can get Atom or Sublime or whatever you want up and running. Atom dot. Take a quick second for it to load up because I have like 5 different atoms up and running at this point, so it's a little slow. Here we go. Ticking away really slowly. Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and start looking at our different folders. All right, so there's the apps folder that we created. Going to slide this up so we can just see just a little bit more. So we've got all these different things in our apps folder that Django created for us. And we've also got all these things in our main folder that Django created for us. So as I said, after we do our quick little tweakings with our main folder, we're going to be done with our main folder and kind of put it away and set it aside. So I'm using Python 3, so this PyCatch is generating from Python 3. So if you don't see it, don't worry about it as long as you have kind of the rest of these folder structures. All right. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go into our apps and make a new file in our apps. That's going to be __init_.py. Great. All this file says is, hey, this is a folder that can be looked at by Python. That's basically what that __init magic method says. So double underscore gets abbreviated as dunder sometimes in Python. So dunder init basically gives us access to this folder as a Python folder. Awesome. All right. So now in our main settings, let's go ahead and play around with it a little bit. So let's open it on up. And notice this installed apps chunk here. All right. Those are things that are pre-installed with Django to make our lives easier, but we want to use our particular app. So let's do it. How we're going to do it is we're going to say go to apps, and then we're going to say go and use whatever app we're wanting to use. So in this case, we're going to use first app. First app. Awesome. And then comma. So good. So easy. Perfect. The next thing we want to do. So as I kind of mentioned, and as you've seen with Flask, we have to play around with our URLs and routing. And the way Django works is it basically says, hey, let's first look in these URLs and the routes in this file and see if there's anything in there that tells us what to do. And right now there is, but we're going to change it around. So we're going to add include. And basically what this is going to allow us to do is include different things from our apps folder. All right, we're going to get rid of this one. This is going to be something that we'll deal with later, but just not right now. So we're going to ignore it for now. And we're going to say URL, and we're going to use a regex pattern to catch our first URL. All right, basically what this thing says is any string that's there, let's include a file from, just like this, blogs.url, apps.firstapp.url. Cool. All right. So we don't have a first app URL yet, so let's make ourselves that file. So go into first app, new file, and URL, and let's make it urls.py. All right. So going back to your urls.main, call this thing urls, not URL. All right. Perfect. So now we have a URLs file, and basically when we see nothing in front of our regex pattern, or anything I should say, because there's no $sign. The $sign will say nothing, so there's nothing in between the start of the sentence and the end of the sentence. When we see anything, so we can start with anything, we're going to say go and look in here as our first behavior that we're going to do. We could have other behaviors after that, but that's going to be our very first thing that we're going to do. We're going to check it out. All right. So we're going to run over there. I'm going to copy most of this code because we're going to reuse it over on that page. So let's go over to our first app. And we meet at that urls.py file. And there we go. All right, so we don't need this admin because we're not actually using it. We do need URL because this URL here matches there. And right now it says catch anything and go back to yourself. That's going to be some sort of crazy circular import. We don't really want to do that, do we? No. What we want to do is say, hey, let's just go there, and we could do something crazy, I think. I haven't actually done this, so we're going to see what happens. And we could just say index. And we're referencing something that it should see. So we need to make def index, pass it a request, and let's just return, let's just print something, and then it's going to break. Print banana peel. All right, so it's going to do that annoying thing where it says, this thing failed to render a page when it was supposed to. You gave me a request, and I didn't get anything, but I'll still try to print it in a banana peel. Let's print a whole bunch of stars beforehand, too. So, sure, 8s times 50, 500, sure, whatever. Lots of 8s. Let's do 100. 500 is a little too much. 8s and more 8s and more 8s. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and give this thing a run. All right, so remember I said that we're going to use this Python manage py thing, so we're going to use that right now. Python manage py run server. All right, so it started up just fine. Now we need to go to localhost 8000 and see what happens. So localhost 8000. All right, so first app, URL's index didn't return an HTTP response. So that's kind of what I predicted would happen. But let's look at our terminal now and see if we printed all those 8s. Oh, there they are. Check them all out. So that thing ran. Okay, so that was fantastic. All right, so now we know kind of how things are going to start to connect. So we basically said, hey, we've got our app, right? Our app is sitting here. We have this route, and at this point, oops, this is not the right one. Sorry. This is the right one. So we have this app, first app, and we ran this URL, went into this folder, and we said, hey, when you go to this route, which is nothing, run this index method. This would basically be very similar to what was happening in Flask. Perfect. We're going to start splitting it into this MVC architecture in just the next video. Okay, figure out how to stop this video.